Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome to Wash Day Live, where we go live every single Sunday talking about hairstyles, topics, and concerns that may come up during wash day as hairstylists. Today, we are going to be doing our talk edition. And I don't know if you have been following along, but I have been on the road for the past 3 weeks and been coming live anyway, just doing these talk editions. We have about one more live after this where I will get back into hands on demo for those of you who really look forward to getting into techniques and real concerns that come up during wash day. But last week, we talked about what goes into preparing for a big stage presentation. At the time, I was literally getting ready to present on stage at the Oribe Signature Session in Austin. And I thought it would be a good idea to just share some valuable tips about what I do to actually get ready for a big show like that. Um, but today, I want to actually recap how that show went. How did all of that prep turn out? Like, what was the result of all this so called prep? Like, let's get to the nitty gritty. And I'm going to try to like step it up a notch and um, share my screen. I've been spending the last 20 to 30 minutes trying to figure out how to get photo and video on this live so I could really do some storytelling here. But it seems like I'm able to share the video, but not the photo. I'm actually just going to have to share my screen. So just bear with me. But anyway, before we get started with me recapping the Oribe Signature Session in Austin, I wanted to take a minute to invite you into the Stacy Ciceron community. In this community, we let me recap. Let me recap. Let me recap. Let me recap. Let me whoo, whoo, whoo. Breathe, 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 breathe. I'm telling you, I'm on the road. It gets a little bit stressful, but I just definitely want to try to be consistent with these, but it gets a little bit to be overwhelming, and I just want to show up. So transparent moment, I just feel like I'm a little bit all over the place, but nonetheless, I am here. So let's rewind, 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 rewind. Before I recap the Oribe Signature Session in Austin, I wanted to take a moment to ask you to share this live. If you are on Facebook and Instagram, go ahead and share this live. If you're watching this from YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, I'd like to invite you to download my free ebook, 5 Things You Must Know Before Working with Highly Textured Hair Clientele. As we know, it's more than just doing good hair. It's also about setting an environment and setting the tone. You'll find that all in my ebook and how to set you up for success. If you click the link in my bio, you'll be able to download that and get that straight into your inbox. Also, I just wanted to invite you into the Stacy Ciceron community by downloading the app. Now, in this app, you'll be able to book services with me if you're interested in getting your hair done by me. You'll also be able to shop the shop. The shop has all of the essentials that we use during the Wash Day Live, so you can browse and shop and have a good time in there. Also, if you're interested in attending any in-person or virtual events, you'll be able to purchase your tickets there, but you'll also be the first to know about everything going on in the community. You can also download the app by clicking the link in the bio. All right. So I have some notes here and I just want to jump right into it. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is what what the show was all about and what it meant to me. I've done many stage presentations, but this one was a little bit special because this was the first time for me debuting the actual work that we co-created for the holiday package, the 2024 Oribe holiday package. They team up with local artists, and this is the first time they're using an artist from Kenya, a Black female artist from Kenya. Her name is Tandwe Miru. It was so inspiring being able to collaborate with her. Also, this means that we were able to get into her environment, into her habitat, to see how she works, how she operates in the most authentic and original way, which was also very inspiring to just be in this environment. And also the trip, being able to go to Africa. This is not my first time in Africa, but the whole thing was just inspiring. But when we were there, I worked with the local artists, amazing, amazing artists that were helping me to braid and doing the braids and helping to create the shapes and forming the shapes. We had 3 models. So just having the extra hands around, having the extra eyes around, it was just so helpful. And they just welcomed us with open arms. We just felt like family. It was super, super supportive, and again inspiring. I just know I keep using that word, but it's like I don't know what other word to use to describe what it felt like to be in the in that creative environment. So much so, when I came back home from that trip in March, I was just like, I got to have a space. I got to have a creative space to start creating. I think this is just part of our purpose as artists. If we're not creating, we just feel stuck. We're not happy. We don't feel like we're progressing. Sometimes if you feel depressed, you feel down, sometimes you just have to go and get your hands in something and create as an artist. And then you really just start to have a sense of purpose. I know that was a long, drawn out story about, the excitement. So the excitement, reeling back to the excitement, is because we created these looks in March that no one had any clue about, except for people internally knew that this process was happening, but the public did not know about this amazing work, about this amazing collection, about this amazing collaboration. So in Austin, it had already launched a few weeks before, so the timing was impeccable. But in Austin was the first time I got to recreate the look. So as you can imagine, I was nervous. I was overwhelmed. I was also excited for the look to come out. But, I had so much support and community then. I'm just like, can I pull this off? By myself, not by myself, because I had help, super, super amazing help with Kimberly Spikes. But could I pull this off without the original energy, the original environment, being in Africa, whatever? Anyway, long story short, that was the excitement. The excitement was to be able to pull this look off. So let me just share a few images. So this is something new too, because the last time I was able to share video, but not able to share photos. So now I just have to share my entire screen with you. Share the screen, pick that, boom. I already had this set up, so we could just jump right into it here. So this is the holiday package. Let me just go over and see if you're seeing this. I want to see what you're seeing. So. Okay, so this is the holiday package. So this is working out beautifully. So this is the amazing holiday package 2024. And I have so much to say about this packaging, because Tandaway, the artist, not only was she the photographer, but she also designed these beautiful logos and prints on this package. And oh my gosh, this is also the first year that the Moisture and Control collection is inside the holiday inside the holiday collection. So I had so much to be excited about. And this is another close-up look of the prints. So I think altogether we have 3 different packages. You see that, and 2 different designs. So one of the prints comes in 2 colors, and you can see that. Well, you can take a look at it. I don't have to explain what it is, but it's so beautiful. And look at the fabrics that are underneath the packages. It was just amazing. This was shot right on site. Again, very, very inspiring. So this is where the whole thing actually, this is where the whole thing stemmed from. Okay, from that particular holiday package. Okay, so now that you see the inspiration, um, I want to now go into the actual experience that we had at the session based on the last video. If you didn't watch the last video, go ahead and check it out. It was how to prepare for a big presentation like that. So now what are the results? What's the recap of the actual event? So the first thing I want to say, nothing ever goes 100% as planned. Nothing ever goes 100% as planned, which is why I am a big proponent of overly preparing. Okay, because when you overly prepare, what comes out, what actually disseminates is something smooth and something easy for the people that are viewing it. They would have no idea if something is right or something is wrong. It's because that's what happens when you overly prepare. It's like only the good stuff, mostly all the good stuff come out. All right. So with that being said, I'm also going to throw in some tips here. The first thing is that we have to learn how to pivot. Okay, so this is like the after reaction. We have to learn how to pivot because many things can go wrong, or direction. They may change the direction, the look, the feel of the show at the last minute. We have to be like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said, be like water. We have to be like water. We have to be adaptable. We have to, yes, you have your vision and you want to be able to express your vision, but when you're working with an overall picture and a bigger picture that's bigger than you have to be adaptable for the sake of everything going well. So you have to be able to pivot, and that's exactly what happened. But because we were overly prepared, we were able to create contingency plans. I know this sounds overly dramatic, but something simple, for example, we had a lot of braiding to do for the show, a lot of braiding. Like I said, in Africa, I had a wonderful braider and another stylist. So all of that stuff was done. We only had a couple of hours to prepare. So when I say having a contingency plan, it's like, okay, if we have 2 hours, we're going to do 12 braids. If we have an hour and a half, we're going to do 9 braids. If we only have an hour, we're going to do 6 braids. So that's what I mean. Being able to just adapt and still have the overall look and feel of what you're going for, and still have the same effect. And this is what I'm talking about. If you, let's say, for example, my segment was 35 minutes. What if, and this did not happen, but let's say they say, okay, we need you to just be able to do your thing in 20 minutes. What would you be able to do? Am I going to get mad? Am I going to get bent out of shape? No, what I'm going to do is go over my notes, pull out the strongest talking points, reduce the braids, and do stuff like that to make it work. So be able to learn how to pivot quickly. And guess what? Not only just for stage presentations, but I realized that, I don't know if it's a superpower, but it's a skill worth developing. Being able to pivot, think quickly, and be solution oriented and not gripe about a problem, but be a part of the solution so things can move on faster, easier, smoother. People really appreciate that working with you, and it just works overall. All right. So So we created a contingency plan about the braids and style based on the time. So we were able to get the same effect and, um, with maybe a little bit less braiding because of the prep time. Because think about it, when we do these shows, um, they want to start on time, they want to end on time because it's a whole thing. It's a presentation, then there's a hands-on. If one person runs off time or more than one person runs off time, the whole thing just ends up running off time. Also, I the next tip, um, based on my experience, is remember why you're there. Okay. You have to remember while you're there. Again, I was so overwhelmed with emotions, with nerves, and sometimes we let our insecurities kick in. We let our lack of confidence kick in, but that makes it all about us and not about the audience. So we have to be able to shift our perspective and shift our focus, because energy flows where focus goes, right? So if we start thinking about the problem and the insecurities and is this right, is this that, I mean, it just makes it worse for yourself. You just become more anxious, more overwhelmed. So what I like to do, and I was reminded of that because again, I was all excited, I was nervous, I was everything, but that means that it's all about me. When you start feeling like that, that means that you're thinking of yourself and not thinking of the audience. So my second tip, based on my experience, is remember why you are there. So for me, um, my reason when I'm my why when I'm on the stage is always about awareness. Okay. Awareness comes in so many different levels, especially when we're talking about black hair, when we're talking about textured hair, when we're talking about this conversation about inclusivity. It's like, bringing the awareness that we're all doing our part by learning the skill, being aware of the language, being aware of the technique, being aware of the community, being aware of the inequalities. All right. So I may not be able to get that all out on stage, but it reminds me why I am there. My why is also inspiration. I want to be able to inspire my audience to spark that creativity again, because at least for me, that's why I used to attend shows. And that's why I attended classes, was to be inspired again. If you feel stuck as an artist, if you feel uninspired as an artist, sometimes you just need to be in a creative environment, just like sometimes you just need to get your hand in it. So part of my why is to be an inspiration. I want that. And we have, as presenters, teachers, I realize that we don't have control over what is going to inspire our audience. Okay. All we can do is just plant the seeds. Somebody might see me and get inspired just by seeing me, because maybe I represent a woman, I represent leadership, I represent a woman of color, my hair, my outfit. I just don't know what it is about me or my presentation that's going to inspire. That's why I got to come out with my guns blazing, and hoping that something I say or do or how I act or how I present is going to inspire those in the audience. Also, it's to share practical tips. I want you to be inspired and I want you to be aware, but I want you to leave with tips that you can actually use when you leave that show, because sometimes the looks can be, not complicated, but they can be intricate. They can be maybe difficult to do, but I'm going to throw in something that you can take back to the salon with you. And for me, it's all about stretching hair, detangling hair, product use, product knowledge, giving you ideas on how to use and combine products or quick techniques. So those are usually when I start getting overwhelmed, I'm just like, why am I here? What does the audience need from me? And that kind of quiets down the nerves. It doesn't completely disappear, but now I want to deliver on such a high level that now I got to focus on reading the room. What does the room need? What do the students need? Okay. So, tip number three, based on my experience, that reminded me at the show, the Oribe Signature Session in Austin, is that the show goes on. And what I mean by the show goes on is that if you make a mistake, if you forget what you're doing, if you forget what to say, or you slip up, or you feel like things are not going right, you have to keep going. It's so important. It's just like a Broadway show or a live show. Sometimes, again, the audience is not even aware that you're making a mistake. The audience has no idea that something in production is off. Or in my case, I had to have a little humor because when I was on stage, my not my cutting scissors, but you know, like we have craft scissors that we might use to cut paper. Hi, come. You could come. I actually wanted you to be on my live, and he got shy and walked away. But my my craft scissors that I use for like thread and paper and things like that, it was not cutting the hair on stage because we had a really thick piece of braiding hair. And so Kim was like cutting it and sawing away. And the room was so silent. And it was like a moment where you can say, man, this is bad. This is really bad. Like I'm the professional, I'm the expert, and I'm up here trying to cut with some dull scissors. But the room was so quiet, and then I just chuckled. I laughed, and then the whole room laughed, you know? So you have to have a little humor. People know you're human. People know things happen, and it just turned out to be funny. The hair the hair ended up cutting, but it did take some whacking, some sawing at the hair for it to happen. But the show must go on. I couldn't break down and cry. I couldn't stand in being embarrassed. It just turned out to be a cute little moment that some may have noticed and some may not have noticed, but you know, the show goes on. So keep moving. Don't even, you know, it's that Beyonce caught her hair caught in the fan moment, you know. Beyonce kept singing. She kept singing with her hair trapped in the fan because she is a trained professional. The show must go on. And then she never missed a beat when she did her 5, 6, 7, 8 and kickball change, honey. She did not miss a beat. Okay. Um, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about, let's see. Actually, I do have something that I've been talking. Let's add that. So this is us on stage. I think this is past the part where we had to cut the hair. I don't think that I actually got a chance to capture that moment. Every time I share, I just want to make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing here. Okay, great. You're seeing what I'm seeing, but yeah. So this is us on stage here. Um, yeah, I don't think that this moment is going to be captured with us trying to cut, but you know, it's just the show must go on. That's pretty much the point. Okay. So let's talk about outfits because when I was talking about preparing for the live, fashion, the look was a big part of it. Okay. But we talked about the model's look, but what about my look? So I take pride in trying to blend in. Here's the delicate balance for me is blending in but standing out, right? Because I don't want to take over the look. I want you to be able to enjoy the hair, enjoy the demo, but I also want to stand out as an individual while also matching the story, you know? So the crazy thing about that is I'm working with my fashion stylist, Pom Total. I tag her and everything in case you want to know where I get my fabulous looks from. But she pulled a couple looks for me, of which I brought. And it's crazy because I like to give a little sparkle on stage. I don't care if it's a little sequence or it's a little gem or it's a little just some type of sparkle in some way. It's crazy. And not crazy, but it's the story I'm about to say, I think is crazy because I had like a sequent look that I wanted to wear for the little sparkle, and I felt like it was going to fit in. And for some reason, when I showed my colleagues, like we were trying to decide what I was going to wear, when I pulled out the red dress, before it could even get out of the bag, they were like, red, red, red. I'm like, so you don't want to see like the other outfit? You don't want to see what else I have in the bag? And they're like, this is it, this is it, this is it. So anyway, I ended up showing them the outfit, which was a sequin skirt and like a sheer top that had little clear rhinestones on them that looked like diamonds that would pick up the light really really good. They were like, nope, 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 nope. You got to wear that red dress. So you were able to see the red dress that we ended up with here. And both the models, let me see if I could pull up that photo. Let me share the screen with you. So this was the look here. Come on in, come on in. That's okay. That's okay. So this is the look that we ended up going with, which was the red dress. And to add a look, you leaving? Oh, I'll see you. We'll talk. We'll talk. Give me a call. I'm almost finished, but probably not in time for you to get out of here. They can say bye if they want. Yeah, come say bye. You make a little cameo. Come say bye. Come. Come say bye. No, it's okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. You can give me a kiss from a distance. Mwah. Bye. All right, cousin. All righty. I'll see you. So this was the look, but you see, we had to find a way to add a little bit of a sparkle to the look, and that's how we ended up with the necklace. Okay, so let's stop sharing here. Okay, so that was the outfit, and that's how it ended up looking on stage. It still kind of picked up the light a little bit. Oh, and I had a little bit of rhinestones in the shoes as well. So there was a little bit of sparkle there. I wanted to wear some black platform sandals that come in handy. I cannot walk in heels. I cannot walk in heels, but for whatever reason, if you're like me, the platforms kind of make it work. If you wear platforms, I'm able to pull off the heels. But that was another unanimous decision that my colleagues were like, nope, nope. Wear these. This is the look. They basically just left no room for error. And let's talk about the hair. So, again, when we were talking about creating that contingency plan, my hair was included with that contingency plan. I knew that I wanted to wear a low ponytail, but I also wanted a tailbone braid, honey. I wanted a low ponytail with a tailbone braid, and that was just not negotiable for me. So if I had to do less braids to get my ponytail, but it ended up working out amazing because Kim did the braid for me. We had like 15 minutes and she knocked it out. She just braided because I have length on my hair. So she was able to start braiding it and just do like a quick feed in braid. And I was able to get my waist length braid. But I think you guys saw that already. All right. So key points. key points and rehearse. Okay. Now, I think this, what I meant by the key points, I believe, because I was just jotting down quick notes, I believe that goes back into your mission, and your why. Like, why are you there? What do you want the audience to get? And having those key points available so that oh, I know why I shared that story. I know I was sharing the key points because I had to pivot again on stage, because I have this thing where I'm reading the room to make sure that they get what they came to get. And I want to make these extra points. And for me, I am so inspired by Tondeway's work, her as a person and her mission, that I wanted to be able to add those key points in. So when my model was walking off the stage, I had her stop for a moment, and I was able to add another key point in there, okay? Which might have made me go over by 4 minutes, because I think my segment went over by 4 minutes. But it's okay. I think it was okay because at the end we all wrapped in the right amount of time. Rehearse. So my next point, my next tip is all about rehearsing. Now, these points, if you're just tuning in, these points are some tips based on the experience that I had at the Oribe Signature Session in Austin. So, based on my most recent experience, I'm like, hey, this is what I would do to. This is what I would keep doing, and this is what I would do to improve. But rehearsing is so important. You think because you're doing hair or you are teaching a subject that you know, that you can just go cold, what do they call it, like you just go out there with you just with whatever's in your head. That does not work. As a matter of fact, you have to have a dress rehearsal or some type of rehearsal. And what worked for me and Kim was the fact that we rehearsed like a dance routine. That's when I say rehearse, I'm not just talking about your lines. We were like, okay, when I do this, pass me the brush. When I do this, give me the product. Take this back. 1, 2, 3. How many minutes? What's next? We literally rehearsed. So there was no surprises that when I talked about detangling, she had the detangling brush. And then when I was done detangling, she was ready to take the brush. And when I was ready for the blow dryer, boom, it was right there. When I was done with the blow dryer, boom, she was ready for it. So it was like a dance. And we just, I think this is like our third or fourth time working together. So we just have a little synchronizing. We have a synergy where we're just getting to understand the rhythm and even where to stand, right? Because now there are cameras on stage and there's a screen there. So you want to make sure that your choreography is in sync with not blocking the cameras, getting the right angle. And I think that we really nailed it. And rehearsing, because you have 35 minutes, okay, so by this time, it's going to take me 2 minutes. Then this is going to take me another 3. So just rehearsing that dance. I like to, and it just made it so smooth and seamless. And I just imagine myself as a viewer in the audience, what that must be like to see something just float, you know? I was just really proud of um, our synergy together on this particular presentation, because it's like, yeah, we get it, we get each other, and we get it now. I felt like we got it. Okay. And be aware of time. I think that just that um connected with my last couple of points. Is just that, just know how much time that you have left, and just be aware and be conscious of it and consider it, because you want to stay within your segment so that you don't bite into somebody else's time or cut into the students' time, because right after that we have lunch, then we have our hands on. So just being very aware of time. And lastly, wait, let me make sure before I go into my last point that I didn't have anything else to share on this screen. Let me just share my screen one last time before I go into this point. Um, Okay, so this is the holiday package. Okay. This is me and Kim putting on the headpiece on the second model because I wasn't able to grab a good photo of the second model. This was the original inspiration from the holiday package. This was actually a screenshot from the computer in Africa. Okay. This is me and Kim after the show. Hey, we did a good job. We were so excited about that. And I'm like, let's take a selfie. This is my look. I think this is the last photo. Yeah. Okay. And sharing this, us wrapping. All right. I thought I had more photos, but I just wanted to make sure before wrapping that we had enough. And I have my one last point that I want to share with you. Okay. And after I share this point, I'm going to go in the comments to see if anyone has any questions. Oh, look at this picture. Oh, man. I wish I had this over here. Let me see if I have this over here. I'm going to share this with you. I really want you to see this. This is amazing. This is amazing. Let me see. I'm going to have to really take you behind the scenes with me on this one. You're going to go into my files now. About how to. Oh, child. We're going into something else here. Okay. I wanted to share this photo with you. Oh, man. I wanted to share this photo with you. Okay. You bugging out. You bugging out. This was me touching up the hair on one of the models here. You see that tall crown? Oh my gosh, look at that. And all of this is inside the holiday package. I wish I was able to share that on the screen, but I'm still learning, still showing up. Okay, which brings me to my last point. Which brings me to my last point. And that is give yourself some grace. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Because guess what happens when you come off the stage? For a lot of us, because some of us maybe don't, but I feel like a lot of us do. A lot of us do. And that is the coulda, shoulda, woulda. All right. Let me know in the chat if you can relate to the coulda, shoulda, woulda. That means the moment your feet leave the stage, you feel relieved that it's over and everything went well. But then you're like, oh, I could have did this. I should have did that. I would, But at the end of the day, I did that. I did do that. I'm going to be completely transparent. I was like, oh my God, what do you guys, we're all like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about the audience and how they received it. And, right afterward, I got such amazing feedback from the students about, how they felt my segment went. And that's all I need. That's all I need. But the last point is give yourself grace. You prepared, you overly prepared, you nailed it. Yes, there's things that you could have done better, but just do it better the next time. That we should be in a constant mission of improving and improving ourselves and making ourselves better. So yes, I definitely want to improve and do better. But at the same time, I cannot diminish the impact and the effects of the work that I just did. So give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. So that was the end of that. Now, I just want to see if quickly see if there's anyone watching that may have questions about presenting on the stage or education or speaking or what the experience is like. I am now connected on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And I know there's a bit of a time delay. So if you have any questions, I'll hang on for about 2 minutes. And if you are watching this on the replay, you're going to have to type your question in again or just DM me, because for whatever reason, when I share the live video, I lose all the comments. So if there is a question that you want me to see, definitely put it in the comments. And while you're there, write replay in the comments so I know that you have watched it and you are rocking right along with me. But as we come to a close, I am excited. We have one more. I'll be in LA next Sunday, and I'll be going live from LA. I don't know if I'll be in my room, if I'll be able to record while we are setting up for our finale signature session. But either way, I will be live next Sunday. If you don't already have your live notifications turned on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and turn them on. Or you can just join my community, the Stacy Ciceron community, because you'll be the first to know when all of these things are happening. And you can do that by clicking the link in my bio and downloading the app. Okay. So it looks like we don't have any questions. But I want to just thank you for tuning in, whether you're watching live or on the replay. Thank you so much for tuning in to these Wash Day Lives. We go live every single Sunday. I think this is our 14th week by now, and I am building this consistency muscle. So happy, so proud, and I'm just so grateful for my team that helps to keep this going, whether it be the wardrobe, whether it be getting these emails out. I feel like we have our rhythm, and I'm just so excited to see where this goes. All right, so it looks like we don't have any questions. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you next Sunday. Thanks for watching. Ciao.